In today's video, we're going to be talking about the best air tools for your car detailing needs. Now, we're not going to talk about the use case of these. I think it's pretty well known what these are used for within the detailing industry. We'll cover that slightly, but I'm not going to show you guys a bunch of footage of that stuff. Today's purpose is really to compare and contrast mainly these two brands. We have obviously Tornador. They're the founders of this whole type of thing. They're the ones that created this spiral tornado style effect that just makes the air movement way more efficient for blowing out things in the vehicle, blowing out pet hair, crevices, cracks, all that good stuff. These things are phenomenal. Now we're also going to be talking about the Ultra Air blasters from the Rag company. Now quick disclaimer guys, I paid for all of these. I ordered all of them, which got very expensive, but I wanted to really have a good representation and understanding of which ones are for what really and what the value is. And I would like to thank today's sponsor for helping me buy these, Factor. Now I've talked about Factor in past videos and I absolutely love the food that they have. But if for some reason you haven't heard about them before, I love the fact that even after a long day at work, I can come home and have a delicious meal in about 2 minutes without all the crazy cleanup. Factor meals eliminate the hassle of prepping or cooking and cleaning up. You simply heat it up and enjoy. Now, Factor takes the stress out of meal planning. You don't have to go to the grocery store. You don't have to prep your food. You don't have to worry about cleaning up after. You just get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and more. So make sure you head over to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50I'mJoshV to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50I'mJoshV, 50I'mJoshV at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Now let's get back to the video. So why are we gonna be talking about just these two? And personally, I just think that these are the best quality options out there. There are other options like this little guy that you can get on Amazon, significantly cheaper. But I think when you get into, because the Ultra Air tools are priced so well, you know, something like this at like 25 bucks, and then you can upgrade to the Ultra Air ones for 42 bucks. It's significantly worth it to go that route over something that you can just find on Amazon that's just a cheap generic one. As you can see, the trigger on this thing just kind of dangles. The pull is very far. The overall just build quality is a little bit lacking versus the Ultra Air. Now this is the old one. This is their V1. We're gonna talk about the V2. I don't have it, but there's some really cool features, and I'm just gonna base my experience off of this one, and then we'll add in those other features because I think there's some really good selling points with those. But as you can see, the build quality is much better. All the tolerances are much tighter. This isn't flop around all over the place. The pull, still a decent distance, but not bad. It's very comfortable to use. You can see it's got this nice black coating on it. It does rub off, and this has just been sitting in my truck getting beat up. This is the one I use in my detail business. And it works fantastic. I really like it. Now, when we go over to the Tornador, the originator, right? The ones that really started this whole thing, you can see just it moves forward and backwards, but there's not a lot of play in the trigger. And then the pull is very short and concise, meaning it's a real pleasure to work with these things. The build quality on the Tornadors, in my personal opinion, is better than the Ultra Air. However, the Ultra Air is right behind it, and they are significantly cheaper. So better value, I'd probably go here. Better build quality though, here. So we're gonna talk about the different options that these things come with, what we have in the Ultra Blaster lineup, and then what we have in the Tornador lineup. Let's just start off with the Tornadors because there's some really interesting things, revamps on the Ultra Air, like I said, especially on this unit here. They came out with a V2, and there's a really big selling point in my opinion. So we'll get to that shortly, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But first off, let's start with the Tornadors. The original blow tool here, there's two different types of mechanisms typically. This one is the original, right? So if we can take off the cone, and as you can see, it's just a straw that has these little counterbalancing weights on it, or little plastic pieces, and they're very precise in where they're laid out. If you look at that compared to like some of the ones on Amazon, they're kind of just cut kind of not super precise, kind of placed in different places. They get the job done, don't get me wrong, they absolutely get the job done, but the one from Tornador is fantastic. Now, along with this type of mechanism, they also have a secondary type of mechanism, which I'm gonna show you. Actually, let's just open up one of these guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the Z020 Black. Try and follow me here. So basically what it is this is the basic tool with a solution tank, right? So you can adjust how much solution you want to blast through it just to amplify your cleaning process, right? Me personally, I don't like to have to continually clean them out. So what I like to do is pre-treat the area with my chemical, right? Sometimes with a higher pH or a degreaser, you want to rinse that off anyway. So I'll pre-treat it, just have the solution tank filled with water, go ahead and blast all that and then wipe it up. Everything comes out absolutely perfectly well. The original one, I have some notes here on the side. So the original one of these that has a solution tank has the little straw type of mechanism. That one comes in at $159. This one, the Z20 Black, has an upgraded mechanism. This one comes in at $225. Now again, guys, just really quickly to talk about the comparisons here. The similar type of style from the Ultra Air, this thing is $55, $54.95 versus $225. So huge difference there. However, again, build quality on this thing is phenomenal. You can buy replacement parts for this available on Tornador's website, and I'm sure online and stuff too. But just to show you the other mechanism here, and it's right here, and it is patented. It actually states right here, Tornador patented, little patent, I guess that's the patent number or date, I'm not sure. But it has this spinning mechanism here. And if you look close, I don't know if this will focus for you guys. Try and get this to focus. I don't know why it won't. Let me try and get right in the middle here. Okay, so the straw is not just, again, it's a hard piece here, and it's not just bent down. It's kind of an S shape, so it's going to really blast out in a certain direction and continually make that that motion go. Very, very nicely built. And again, the tank, good to go. You have a weighted ball at the end, so you can always, it's going to stay in the solution no matter how you're holding this thing. Really, really great tool. But again, guys, it's just price is the issue here, right? It's very expensive in comparison to the Ultra Air that's pretty good in comparison to this. So this is the mechanism there. And then they have one more upgrade to this unit, and that is the Tornador Max. Now, the Tornador Max is that same unit on steroids, right? They really up the grip is fantastic. It's got a rubberized coating, really comfortable. They put a rubberized coating on the bottom of the solution tank as well, so it doesn't really move around on you as much. Very comfortable and soft on the bottom. The trigger has a rubberized piece on it, so again, just very, very comfortable to use. If this will focus again, I apologize. I don't know what's going on. So there you go. Very comfortable to use. And then this thing also has an additional upgraded mechanism. Pretty much the same, except it has this like spring around it. And I don't know, I honestly don't know what that's for. I have no idea if that really makes a difference. I haven't noticed anything, but it is there. And this does show Tornador patented, and it is a different number on there, so who knows. One other thing that comes with this unit is this little tactical light. So you can actually mount this on top here and just push the bulb, and it turns the light on. Okay, and then you have a flashing, and then you have off. For me, personally, guys, the first time I ever went to put this on, it mounts here. You could slide the cone off and then back this on. It's still tight, but the first time I did it, I just came like this, and it snapped right in half. So for me, this is a little bit of a gimmicky deal. There's no, because it failed on me so quickly. There we go. So just snap there, and the light is really, it's not, I don't know. It's okay. If you're in a dark area, it'll help, but it's not anything that's game changing. Like having a separate flashlight there, I would recommend. That would have a better result. And then plus, because the shape of the cone, right? So this would sit on there like that. As you can see, it kind of, you're gonna get blocked by the cone. There, you can see the shadow right there, right? You can see it on my hand. So I don't know. It's just, it's a cool thought. And I do like it, but it's definitely not any reason to buy this unit over a different one because of this. Because this, again, for me, I don't use it because it broke on the first application anyway, or when I was trying to put it on. Now, one differentiating factor is all of the Tornador tools they're all stamped made in Taiwan. The Ultra Blasters, the ones that you can find on Amazon, are all made in China. So take that for what it's worth. I don't know if Taiwan is the leader in making these blowguns or what, but the overall build quality does seem better to me from Tornador. Now there's two more items I want to cover real quick from the Tornador lineup. This one, which is a newer item from, I think, within a year or so, and I love this thing. This thing is super cool. They kept the simple straw type of mechanism in here, but this is a simple piece. Your air goes right there, and you just can hand hold it. It's got a nice big trigger for your thumb. Just compress it and get to work. So it's really comfortable to work with. I like this thing a lot. This thing is their cheapest option, does a fantastic job. If you just need an air blower, this thing's coming in at 40 bucks. This thing's coming in at 40 bucks. So really, I like these two options. Now, this one, again, does have that more precise mechanism. And you may be wondering, hey, what is the difference? Really, right? This was the original. And I think the difference is these ones are on a bearing. The bearing can wear down over time. Same thing with the ones from Tornador. But they're precise. They're not constantly banging up against the cone shape because they free spin. They're controlled, right? This one eventually could have some issues. You could wear that down if you're using it a lot. You could wear down the cone inside a little bit, not too bad, but more so the counterweights, the little pieces I was talking about on the straw, could get broken down, right, over time. So I think it's just longevity, but man, I use these things a lot. This one I just picked up today for this video. It's super cool. I saw a video on it, and I was like, I don't know if that's gonna be comfortable. It's very, very comfortable. Now the last thing I want to talk about, again, this box is just for this Tornador. The last box though, and a reason you may want to go with the Tornador lineup, is they make the Velocity Vac. Now again, there's copies of this on Amazon. I've never used those. I don't know how those perform or the build quality, but this is a very, very cool unit. You get all the adapters, you get an extra hose length, and you get the little head unit here. And what this does, guys, I'm not gonna assemble this whole thing right now, but it allows you to blast and vacuum at the same time, really doing a fantastic job of releasing all the stuff that's embedded in your carpets and being able to suck it out at the same time. So again, a very, very cool tool. You can see it here, right? And I'll put a picture up of it for you guys so you can really see it. This thing though, just this piece, right? So you would have to go with the Tornador, let's say minimum 160 bucks. Then this thing is an additional $88.95. Or you can get one that just attaches to a regular blowgun without the solution tank, and that's a lot cheaper than this whole kit, but it's still a good amount of money. All right, guys, so now let's go ahead and jump over to the Ultra Air side. And again, we're gonna be talking about the V1. With everything else aside, $42 for this unit, great build quality. Again, probably 90% of where the Tornador is, 80, 90%. So fantastic build quality. And then you do get the upgraded style of mechanism. So where it's just, you know, the same thing, it's kind of like a little bit of an S, it's gonna blow around that way. So very nice. You get a regular cone and then you also get the brush cone. Now the new ones, the V2, I'm going to flash up here for you guys as well. I don't think they changed the price. If they did, it's dollars, nothing crazy. But what they did is the actual unit is longer now, the cone is shorter. You still get this type of mechanism, but on this old one, there's a little piece here. I've tried to remove this. If it fails, I don't think there actually is a way to remove that. But on the new ones, it's very easy to pull out and put in a new piece. They sell a 2-pack of these bearing mechanisms for like 16 or 17 bucks, which is an insane price because if you need to replace that mechanism on the Tornadors, it's significantly more for one. And they give you a 2-pack for 16 bucks. Now, again, guys, I haven't used that new one yet, so I can't speak on that side of it, but functionality-wise, it should be the same. It's just the added feature of being able to change out the mechanism. So the thing should last you a long time, I would think. Now from there, they also have, again, we talked about this really briefly. This is similar to the one from Tornador. So you get a nice black handle. You get the weighted ball with a silicone straw that goes into the solution tank. You get the dial. You also get a little pressure regulator type deal on the back here. And then you get the shorter cone. So the new one of these is going to be similar to this, a little bit more of that style with a shorter cone for the short one, or sorry, for the blower only. But this one, they haven't done a V2 yet, and I don't know if they will. But this one, when you look at the mechanism, if you remember well, the mechanism on the Tornador version. So the mechanism here is super nice, really precision, just very good quality, really fantastic tool. On the one from the Rad company, the Ultra Air, it's different. So you still get that same style, but you pull this out. This is just the chemical injection tube that just pulled out, so it filters through and blows out. But this is very plastic, very, very plastic. Not very heavy either, so I don't know. The build quality on this is a little bit questionable in comparison to the one from the Tornador. However, $55 versus $160 at the cheapest. And that doesn't have this type of a mechanism. If you want this type of mechanism, it's $225 or whatever. So a absolute fraction of the cost. I mean, you could buy multiple of these for the same price. So I mean, really, man, again, I'm gonna say the same thing. The build quality on the Tornador is better, but the value here is really hard to beat. Again, where the cone goes on, this seems like it's plastic too, so it could wear down over time versus the Tornador, which is all like machined and super, super nice. So again, build quality, better on the Tornador, but the build quality on the Ultra Air on this one is good, and I mean, at the price, it's really hard to beat. This is gonna appeal to a lot more people than the Tornador brand one, just because that price is gonna be the limiting factor. Now, on top of these two tools from the Ultra Air lineup from the Rad company, they also have a similar tool to the Blaster Plus, and that is a engine cleaning tool. So similar thing, but a really long nozzle on it so you can get into all the tight spots. It's also kind of cool for getting under seats and things like that. So you do have those options as well. And then they also have a chemical, what do they call it? An applicator, I wrote it down here. So the Engine Blaster Plus with the long nozzle is the same price as this, $54.95. And then the applicator tool, which you can fill with solution to apply tire dressings if you wanted to, you know, dressings on your engine compartment. They say always wear a mask with that though, because you're putting fine mist of chemical into the air. So just make sure you wear a mask for that. And that one comes in at $49.95. So yeah, I mean, I think in my personal opinion, the Rad company did a phenomenal job with these tools. I think, again, build quality is not quite, I'm sorry, I'm a broken record on this. The build quality is not as good as the Tornadors, but it's so close. And then the price is insane. It's so, I mean, $42 versus 60 something dollars. And with this one, you get that more precise mechanism versus this one's just a straw, especially now with the V2 and the replaceable parts that are significantly cheaper as well. It's a home run. This thing on the V2, again, I haven't used that one yet, so outside of me getting a hold of that and being like, what the heck, I would say that's the way to go. I have it on order, it just hasn't shipped yet. But looking at the quality of these ones, I can't imagine that one's bad. And then you add in that additional factor, it's a home run. For me, personally, I don't use the solution tank ones all that often. I'm just a basic blower guy, so I use this one currently in my home, this one in my truck, and then I just picked this one up, and again, guys, I think this thing's super cool. You just palm it and just go to town. So I'm gonna be using that one at my shop, and I'll update you guys down the road if anything fails on it, but this thing is super cool. These two are gonna be my favorites for sure. You know, $40, right in that same price range. So that's it for today's video, guys. I just want to give you a brief rundown on these because I think it gets a little bit confusing. I know when I was doing my research on them, like, where does this really fit in, especially when you get into that, if you like the velocity vacuum attachment, which I think is super cool. Now, really quickly, I think that thing is awesome. However, I do not use it as much as I thought I would because it's a little bit cumbersome. You're running an air line and your vacuum line. You have both things out. It's a little bit of a pain, but if you have a shop situation and you can have it set up all the time, home run. I think it's super, super cool for that. But that's it for today's video, guys. I hope that video helps you. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell, and we will see you on the next one.